Welcome to the Sheepless Life podcast. We are your hosts, Yvonne de la Flor
and Severine Nassens, and we are the founders of the Sheepless Life Academy. Join us at sheeplesslife.com for a free and exclusive masterclass on sheepless living.
We created this podcast for women like you, who are ready and eager to live and lead without the herd mentality.
Women who are ready to be, not who your parents told you to be.
Not who the system expects you to be.
Not who the media wants you to be.
But who you can truly become.
So relax, step out of the herd for a moment,
grab something to sip on, and have a pencil at hand just in case you feel the urge to take some notes.
Let's get the show on the road. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody listening to this 21st podcast, 21 already. And this is Severine Nassens from Cancun, and on the other side, knock knock, who's there?
Yvonne de la Flor. So that means we're 21. It's like the age where in Vegas people can go out and have supposedly fun and they can drink. We're going to drink wisdom though here.
Yes, we're totally legal to drink wisdom as of now. All right. We have a topic today that, first of all, it caused a lot of what do you call it? A lot of grace to me. It was kind of funny. It's the sacred slap. And that came through last week as we were speaking on our podcast last week. And it came through. And Yvonne, share us what the sacred slap is all about.
Yes, and I just want to pay tribute to two incredible women. Their name are Katerina Satori and Marcy Locke, because I'm going to share with the people that listen to us in the podcast about the sacred slap. But they kind of baptized this slap as the sacred slap. Cool. So a shout out to these very powerful women. They're mentors. They are spiritual teachers. They are just women that are totally sheepless, Katerina Satori and Marcy Locke. Because when I share the next story, these two women, when they heard what I'm about to share very quickly and briefly, they were like, "Oh my gosh, that was awesome!" And so, the sacred slap came from an experience I had with a very powerful teacher. Her name is Byron Katie, and Byron Katie wrote an incredible book called "Loving What Is." For those of you who are listening to this podcast, it's an incredible book. The short version is based on 4 questions. It's kind of an rational inquiry of your belief systems, which is 4 questions. When you have a belief that you don't like, you ask, is it true, my belief? Can I absolutely know that that's true? Who would you be without the thought? And turn it around. And so this teacher, was doing her school called The Work, and it was very intense, happy, sometimes not that happy days. When you are with that spiritual teacher, a mentor that really knows how to see what you are unwilling to see, or the blind spots we have. Sometimes, what they help us see is not that comfortable. Mm-hmm. So at this school of the work, I was really pretty comfortable until I wasn't. And so one of those days we were working, and I keep changing the numbers. I don't know if it was 300, 400 people, and there was a big circle of people, and there was an exercise to be engaging with other people. And apparently I have a feeling I was trying too hard, and just feel the words, Seve. Trying too hard to be spiritual. Oh. Nothing makes sense, right? No. Everything feels fake. But somehow Byron Katie spotted that. And so she brings me to this, from all of these people, we're in a circle and dancing, and she brings me to the center of the room. And my spiritual ego gets excited. Oh my gosh, the guru chose me, right? Oh my gosh, the teacher, I say, of all these people, I'm the chosen one. Oh my gosh. First, I'm feeling so proud. My ego is feeling so proud. My spiritual ego is like, my frequency must be so high. And what she does is like, she starts seeing me eye to eye. This woman, just look at her picture. What a wonderful, benevolent, intense teacher, she is. And she puts her hand on my shoulder, Seven. And by automatic behavior, like when you say good morning, like, hey, good morning, how are you guys? We are trained to respond. Instead of thinking, instead of pausing, instead of being present to even what we're going to speak. What are our words of our next breath are going to be? What are we really want to say when we say good morning? Do we want to do it behavioral, scripted, or really be in the present of the truth of the moment for us? So, and so we most of us in humanity respond by habit and respond by
Mm-hmm.
obedience, respond by indoctrination and education.
Yes.
You know, if someone says good morning, go say good morning. If someone says hi, go say hi. If someone says how are you, go say fine, which is most of the times is a lie, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you're ecstatic, you're joyful, but you don't tell that to people. How are you today? I'm ecstatic, joyful, and so excited. Or you don't go to tell people, well, really, I'm not feeling that good today. I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of depressed and I don't want to see you. You know, we
It's a
skip all of those things. So she has that awareness and I don't. So she puts her hand super mindfully in my shoulder, and me by response by immediacy.
impulse. Uh-huh.
Um, I put my hand in her shoulder without even noticing I'm doing that. I'm just doing the same, and guess what? She slaps it. She slaps my hand. There's a real sacred slap here, you guys. You know, we have heard stories of Lao Tse, right? Of the teachers, the spiritual teachers, that a student will come to the teacher. Teacher, tell me what's enlightenment. And there's a story of Lao Tse grabbing the student, throwing him through a window.
Ooh.
The student super injured and coming back. Obviously, it's a metaphor, right? And saying, I don't get it, teacher. Please tell me what's enlightenment. You didn't get it, and he throws them harder. He
Oh.
stomps on him. I know it sounds violent, but this is a metaphor. He's like, did you get it? No, like, right? And so he goes back, give me the formula of enlightenment, until like he's beaten up by the guru. Osho used to do this. He used to literally slap people,
Wow.
literally slap people, until people would say, like, I get it. There's no alignment. Alignment is being in the moment, being fully present in the moment. So when she did that, right, when she moved my hand, do you think that I felt like the holy person in the room?
No,
Absolutely not.
I could
My
just
ego
imagine
was,
your face.
no, my face was like, no, I still pretended I smiled. I still pretended that was like the one chosen. I kept it together, but in my inside, I felt ashamed. I felt like it was so huge that Byron Katie, the next thing that she does is like she sees me with this benevolent face, like, oh, sweetheart, she really is taking this personal. She really is not even aware where she moved her hand to reach me. She's not even noticing that she's here. She's pretending. I can feel all of that. I'm having a moment of awakening in reverse, which means in reverse because my ego is going against the flow,
Mm-hmm.
against the thing, until she grabs me super gentle through the hand and, come on, sweetie. And she sits me by the feet of her chair. Now, in other stories of mine, when I used to go to India, sitting by the feet of the master, sitting by the feet of the chair of the master would have been an honor. Severina was pissed off. I wanted to go out. I wanted to join forces. I was not alone in this training. I was with a former partner of mine. There were some friends of mine. Immediately, my ego, you know what it went to do? Gather the troops. Did you
Mm.
see what she did to me? What a violent teacher. I cannot believe I paid thousands of dollars to be trained like that. I am not being treated as a client. My ego complained and complained and complained and complained. And I tried to gather, and guess what? I almost convinced them. The ego is so persuasive that they're like,
Yeah.
yes, if you leave, we will all live with you. And so that was the slap moment. So we have three themes on the podcast.
Well,
Which
that was
are,
absolutely a total lesson that you didn't see coming, right?
I did not see it coming. So that's the first part of the podcast, right?
Yes.
The sacred slaps that we don't see coming, the lessons we don't see coming, things that we think are going to be in a certain way, and then you
They
meet
turn out
someone in
differently.
relationship, and it turns out differently.
Totally.
The romance ends. The work begins. You
Yes.
want to have children. The child is born, and you don't know you have to change diapers every 2 hours or breastfeed like 27 hours on a day. You didn't even know there was 27 hours in a day. So there are things that you want in life that you are calling for, but when they come, we are not expecting the lessons that this
Hmm.
this experience may be bringing. Has this ever happened to you?
Oh, yes. Well, it happens. It doesn't happen that often anymore because I'm very well aware of my. Well, I try to be aware and conscious about my behavior and about everything I do. But there are many lessons, and I think everybody can relate to, not necessarily to your particular story, but in general, taking that as a metaphor. I think everybody's had that slap in the face. It doesn't have to be literally a slap in the face or on the hand, but it must. We all receive punches that we didn't see coming. It's like a good hook in boxing that you don't see coming and it hits you straight in the face. You fall flat forward on your face, and then you go, "Oh, Houston, I did not see that one coming. I have a problem, and there's something I need to do about it." And that is the second part of this podcast. What we want to talk about specifically is the choice of accepting or rejecting that particular lesson that is being brought into your attention. And it's like it's not like a gentle tap on the shoulder. It's a smack in the face. Yes. And it comes, usually those moments, it's more beyond an aha moment. It's more something on, oh, holy, I can't swear on the podcast, can I? Holy crumps. I didn't see that one coming. So you can choose either to accept the blast, take the bull by the horns and go straight forward and fix whatever you need to fix, or just become truly aware of what that situation, moment, or person is bringing to you, so that you can improve. Or you can totally ignore it and just get up and say, what happened here? And it wasn't my fault, and blame everybody else.
Yes, and become the victim. Become the victim of the story.
Exactly.
So I wanna just say something, because these sacred slap moments, they are not the moments that are of hardship. I want to tell you that the sacred slap moments really happen when we think everything is going great. Really happen more when we think we are very spiritual. Really happen like with someone like Baron Katie is an extraordinary teacher. Now, I've had many situations in my life that all have been lessons. A near-death experience, divorce, people dying on my family, a diagnosis of a disease of someone in the family, personally health. But why was this a sacred slap? Because it is the teacher, it is the mentor, it is someone that the ego is expecting that is going to soothe you. That we have this illusory belief that the teacher is going to always hold us in loving arms and never see our ego and never see what we're hiding. And so when we are seen in our light and our darkness, there's a refusal of the ego to be seen, because that's the end of the facade. So I was not accepting it first, right? That I was not even aware, that I was not even present when I raised my hand, Seve. Just if we can do slow motion, like you will have seen that I just did automatic behavior of touching her shoulder. And here's a woman that has awakened into her own boundaries, that has an awareness on how powerful it is to be present in the now. And I was totally out of the now. I was totally trying to be light, trying to be seen as spiritual. And so when the mentor, and those are the sacred slaps, when the mentor highlights something in us that we believe to be true, and we try to hide it on a story, on a facade, on a personality, we either try to convince all of our team, like I did that, everybody, let's leave, because the work of Baron Katie is really slapping people. No. Or I took a night, I contemplated, why am I pissed off? Why did I feel injured? What is the good thing? And that's when revelation came, Sebe. And I was aware, I was not even aware how I moved my body to connect with another soul. I even in that moment lost awareness that I was present right there with her. I was more interested in keeping the facade of being spiritual than actually having a spiritual moment of listening, of not taking it personal, and see what is she showing to me. Yvonne, be present. Yvonne, know where you're moving your body. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you even here right now? So I accepted the call, and then the revelation came. And this just very quickly reminded me of this metaphor of this parable in the Bible of Jesus, right? That it says, when someone slaps you, give them the other
Yeah,
cheek.
turn the other cheek, yes.
So I could have retaliated and have injured all of my friends by telling them, let's get out of this training. The way that I gave my other cheek, it was not to be slapped again. The way that I gave my other cheek is like, oh, wow, I got the lesson. I get to be more mindful with the movements of my body. I got to receive the sacredness of the teaching. I get to rise higher, take things personal less and less, and be grateful for the gift of the mentor and the teacher. That sometimes is not a person. Sometimes it's not your children, your spouse. Sometimes it's life itself.
Yes.
And so I made the choice to move forward, and that's why we are sharing it in the podcast today.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this. This is how you turn a slap into a blessing, no? It's when the revelation comes through. Yes.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Like when we fall into businesses, what did we learn? When we choose the wrong partners, because there's such a thing of the wrong partnership. There's always going to be the right lesson, but there is that we don't listen to our intuition. We bring people in to work with us that, it looked great when we were friends, but it didn't look great to business. When you turn the slap into a blessing, when you implement, when you learn from the mistake and you do it differently the next time.
Totally.
And when you take responsibility for your part, leave to others the responsibility and really enjoy the sacred slap. And that's why I wanted to say thank you to Katerina Satori and Marcy Locke, because when I told them this story, they were like, oh my gosh, it would have been so amazing to be slapped, to be slapped by Baron Katie. And so you two are like that. You love feedback. You guys love to grow and everything. But they were so excited, and their excitement helped me take this lesson to another level, to see that there is people out there that are really looking forward to experience life as a lesson to create more life, and not as a lesson where we have an excuse and a justification to be a victim of our circumstances. So, and just in the little notes, Sebe, she didn't really totally slap me. It didn't hurt. But for my ego,
it was a big slap.
It was the slap of a lifetime. I would have given her the Oscar of the slap.
You just totally dramatized the entire situation.
Totally.
But I think that the valuable thing is not that the amazing thing is not that she actually slapped you. I think the amazing thing is that the effect that possibly gentle gesture of her on your hand.
Yes, it was.
I mean, the way you've described and what I've seen of Mrs. Byron Katie is that she is a very benevolent and gentle person.
Super.
And she totally honors the first do no harm rule that you apply in transcendental rebirthing. So I can imagine it was a very gentle gesture, but the amazing thing and the most spectacular thing is the deepness of the level of deepness of the lesson that movement brought to you. It's just amazing. I love it every time you tell that story. I've heard it over and over again, and I can listen to it 1,000 times.
And each time I get to share it, I learn something else. Right now you share the benevolence, and I understand that the place who really slapped me was my ego. Who really slapped me was my awareness to wake up, take a look at this. It's not personal. It's just a lesson to move forward and higher in deeper awareness and deeper presence in life. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the sacred slap.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and thank you all for listening to this podcast number 21. I think we'll leave it at this, and just the invitation to all of you is to be aware when you have a sacred slap, and have you had any amazing sacred slaps? Please share them with us on our Facebook page or on Instagram or here, Spreaker, iTunes, or iHeartRadio. This is it for today, and we'll be more than happy to listen to tune in with you next week.
Subscribe to this weekly podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Share your thoughts with us on Facebook.com/Sheepless Life Academy and learn firsthand how to live a sheepless life with Yvonne and receive an exclusive in-depth masterclass at sheeplesslife.com.